Speaking of which, on to the Howling Six, The Freaks from 1991. A villainous carnival owner traps a young werewolf to include in his growing menagerie of inhuman exhibits. Director is Hope Perello, also known for Critters, Critters Carnivores? Critters, Carnivores,
Okay.
and Creatures? Is that the name of one movie?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, Critters, Carnivores, and Creatures. My bad.
If not, then he's got like a type, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Like that sea thing. Writers are Kevin Rock, also known for Warlock, The Armageddon, and 1994's The Fantastic Four. Ouch.
Ooh, have you seen that one? The Roger Corman one?
Was it
With
a
the
made
boy who
for
could
TV,
fly?
or-
No, I don't remember.
No.
We watched it
Warlock,
for the
The
show.
Armageddon, or The Fantastic Four?
Fantastic
see it.
Four.
Yeah, I've always wanted to see it. I never have.
It's bad.
From
Remember the movie The Boy That
1994?
Could Fly? The boy from Disney, The Boy Who Could Fly?
Yeah,
he,
of course.
he plays Johnny Storm in that.
Oh boy. Well, that's makes sense.
It's really
Flame on.
bad. It's
I don't
really
know
bad.
if I
Son.
remember a Fantastic Four from 1994. That's not the one with
It's really old. It's the
Captain
one where,
America.
like, when Ben Grimm is a human, he's way taller than everybody, but when he's the Thing, he's
Right.
way shorter than everybody.
Right, and he wears like a rubber suit, a orange rubber thing suit.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Okay. Let's see. Mary Lou from the previous sequel, The Rebirth, my bad, has a brief non-speaking cameo as a circus audience member in the beginning of the film. Okay.
Sure.
The makers
Nobody
of
cares.
the next sequel, New Moon Rising, included a reference to it in an attempt to connect the plots of all the films. Well,
God, somebody
Oh my
did care.
God.
that's
somebody
the first
cared.
attempt.
They
Yeah.
cared.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Wow.
And those, I looked it up, those are the only two movies that she has ever done.
Ever of anything.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Howling 5 and
No
6.
porn, nothing, huh?
Nope. Not on IMDb, at least. All right. Steve, what'd you think of the Howling 6?
Well, like Brian said with the last one, at least you had some trivia here. That gives you some. For this one, I was pleasantly surprised at the swing return back to form of the Howling series that we got here. Now,
Right.
I'm kind of torn because the werewolf design is shit in this. It's
Yeah.
Not
shit.
great.
I don't
Yeah.
like the fuzzy
It is.
man. It just looks like a fuzzy man. It doesn't look like a werewolf. So I'm not a big
But the
fan of that.
transformation scene,
Transformation scenes were
Yeah.
very,
least they
listen,
showed that.
this movie has some pretty high highs for me. I think the story is actually really interesting. I don't know if it's executed
Yeah.
that well, but I
Yeah.
think the concept is really cool. They have some fun stuff, like with the British guy and the preacher, like building the house together, like some fucking Hallmark Channel shit.
Oh, that's
the
right.
montage.
With the music.
The
Yeah,
montage,
the building
learning
house
how to
building
hammer a
montage.
fucking piece of wood. Like, how did you do any? Like, you don't know how to hold a board up and put a nail in it. Like, he's like, oh. And the British guy, he reminded me of Kevin Costner from fucking Prince of Thieves, because like he was British sometimes, you know.
Kept losing
Like,
the accent.
yeah,
Yeah.
like he kept like forgetting he was British at times. I was like, hey, wait, and then he would remember it and it would come back.
I was
Um,
thinking that too. I was like, is this guy really British?
Yeah, and then the movie throws a fucking thing at you at the end. You're like, holy shit, there's another creature. Look, this movie has a lot going for it. It's not executed that well, but I give a lot of praise to the attempts and to the care shown on screen, and I had a lot of fun with this one. So I think this was a strong return to form, and maybe it's just like the whiplash from the fucking upswing from the last one, like how could it be any
yes,
lower? And
I
then you
can
come to
see
this
that.
and you're like, holy shit, because I watched them in order, you know, back to back, one right after the other. So I was just like dumbfounded with this one. How could this? It felt like it was the best movie I'd ever seen. So in comparison to 5. So yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Lance, what do you think?
This movie had Fly Guy. From I'm gonna get you, sucker. Fly Guy was in this, man. You gotta love that. And a midget. It had a midget, and it had
Yeah.
a fucking he/she before they started saying they. And it was fucking
You mean
villains,
Deep Roy?
crazy villains. Over
Yeah, it's
the
freaking
top.
Deep Roy, man.
Oh man, Deep Roy was great, dude. Little Indian midget. Gotta love it, dude.
I
No,
like he
this
was
was, it
in
was a,
Except in this
he
movie,
was
he had a
in
third arm.
but that wasn't why he was in the
Ah.
freak show. He was in the freak show because he knew how to play cards.
Oh yeah.
He would hide
Yeah, that's
aces
right.
with that third arm.
got the old 3-card Monty.
That shit was tough. He
going.
lit a cigar with that third arm, handed it up to his other arm. It's like, damn, this was fucking. Deep Roy had it going. He was a
This was
vicious
not-
little fucker.
Not a terrible
was
special
not-
power.
Not a good movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's not one I'm going to go back and rewatch or anything like that. I don't know. Maybe if I don't know, maybe put it on the background Halloween party or something like that. But I mean, it was interesting. And then basically you had a vampire at the end, right? I mean, it was like the Night Flyer. It looked like the Night Flyer, right? From the
Kinda,
Stephen
yeah.
King.
No, it didn't look like
Well,
the Night Flyer.
A little bit with the bat ears.
It
and
looked like
everything.
the weird vampire werewolf hybrid from the Underworld.
He reminded me
Oh,
of something
kinda
that
did.
was from like Nightbreed, like one of those characters from Nightbreed.
Yeah.
This
down
was
there.
very Nightbreedish. Yeah, this
Yeah.
was super Nightbreedish, right? Like with all the freaks and the weird characters and all that. But yeah, I enjoyed it, man. It was fun. And then yeah, like you guys were talking about the little house build or church building montage at the beginning, and they said, "We thought you wouldn't have this thing done in a year." He said, "With this dude, we're gonna have it done today." It's like, this guy was this British
Well,
dude.
well, yeah,
who was
yeah.
like, it's like Jason Statham all over again from
Yeah.
a working man. So,
So we gotta fix this place up. There's like 7 boards and like a piece of siding that had to get put up, and that's it. They're done working really quickly.
We're done.
Yeah. It's like, hey, look,
Oh,
and here's
man.
my hot daughter. You want to stay and live here for
I was about
free?
to
And
say, yeah, I didn't
I
even
know.
get
Some wood
the
up.
the
He's like, I'm
preacher's
gonna fucking
daughter.
put some wood up, let me tell
Oh man, yeah, who wouldn't go for the preacher's daughter, man? That's got to be some Rick Press sexuality there, right? Just waiting to burst free. So yeah, this is a fun movie. I had a lot of fun watching it. Not great, but fun.
Hot, innocent little blonde. Can't go wrong. And I'm not a big blonde person.
Who
Brian, what do you
wanted to
think?
smack him? Who wanted to smack him when he was
Oh
like,
yeah.
I'm like, come on, bro. For the rest of us, bro. For the rest of us.
Take one for the team.
Come on, man. Telling her to leave like that.
Brian, what do you think?
I was pleasantly surprised we were back to form. I like the addition of the freak show. You call him Fly Guy, Lance. I call him Huggy Bear from Starsky and Hutch.
Oh my God, you're right.
There he is.
We got Deep Roy in there. We got Bruce Payne, the villain from Passenger 57.
Oh, nice.
We got montages. We got transformations. The sheriff was one of the gangsters from Blood In, Blood Out. He just had
Oh, man.
like a lot of
Oh,
random,
no.
We were just
Brian,
talking
Random.
about
going down the knowledge, man.
a
Jeez.
lot of random.
My score's
cast-
going up.
Our score's going up. Yeah.
I did admit I didn't know the Bruce Payne turned into a vampire
Yeah.
because he didn't look like a vampire. I had to look it up to confirm he was a vampire
Okay.
because that seemed to just come out of nowhere. But I like the story that of the freak show and that they're putting him in the freak show, and oddly nobody was alarmed at a werewolf in a freak show. It was a little weird, but it just kind of added to the weirdness of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. True enough.
Hey, small town. You got a freak show coming to town. You got a werewolf.
The cops seem to be really
British loner.
okay with the freak show too. They're like, we're gonna take this guy to the freak show, and they're like, all right. I'm like,
Yeah. It's
like,
all good. Yeah. Didn't try to.
I know.
give it-
like, it's all
He
good.
walks in there and this guy's like locked up in a fucking cage and he just like doesn't do anything.
Like, okay.
And I like that the
Moving
freak
on.
show guy he's just so creative with his names. You know, he's like, you'll be Alligator Boy. I was like, yes. I fucking
Oh,
love that. So stupid.
Harkins the vampire.
Uh-huh.
But it does end anticlimactically because they defeat the
bit.
villain. He gets Alligator Boy. He looks at the girl, and then he walks into the desert with Alligator Boy. Credits.
To do What?
Yeah, that's-
Like, oh, where are you going with that unconscious boy there?
I
Like,
guess he's gonna make a pair of boots out of him, right?
No, I think
A belt.
Steve's onto something because he did refuse the pastor's daughter,
I know.
but he made sure to leave with Alligator Boy.
But you know what? And that's the other thing too. Another reason to raise the thing, because even though the character does the bonehead move and makes the fucking preacher's daughter leave the fucking clock tower, even though she made sure her dad was asleep and she told him so, even though filmmakers were like, yeah, but like let's show him anyways. Like let's show it anyways, like as a dream sequence.
Right.
So I was like, okay, at least you give us that. That's cool.
true.
That's cool. You know, live
Just,
vicariously.
just so you know that he wants to.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to leave with Alligator Boy.
But I did think it was funny when he's like marking everything meticulously about like when he's gonna transform, and then like he's sitting there one day writing and he's like, shit. And he looks up, he opens the blinds, full moon, instant transformation. I'm like, you fucking
shit.
dummy.
Read the calendar wrong.
I was kind of thinking that too. I'm like,
I'm
what,
like, come
did
on,
you
man.
have this shit planned? What are you
You're
doing?
really bad at this. It was really abrupt.
But yeah, this one was definitely more entertaining. They had it took it a minute to get going. Like the beginning, I wasn't super interested. And then like the camp, the whole montage of the fixing the church, and I was like, what are we fucking doing? Can we get to something here? But they had to set him up as the good guy because he's the werewolf,
True.
but he's a good guy, right? You have to know
Yeah.
that. And so it works for character development. I'll give him that. And then the bad guy is the vampire, right? And so you have to have the battle. I love the transformation scene for the werewolf. That was actually like surprisingly good. Like the guy
Yeah.
that played the werewolf, I think actually did a really great job. I mean, he had a whole lot of overacting going on, but better over than under. I
like
Like
I
in
like
part
the
five.
idea of the talisman and the incantation.
Yeah, they could make him transform at will with that. Like that was cool. That was like a new twist.
Yeah, the whole movie was a little over the top, so it sort of felt like it worked. And man, he was just like really selling it, even with like the bendy bars of the cage that he was in.
Oh yeah, I noticed that too. Rubber bars.
he like grabs one on the top and sort of swings
Yeah.
across it, and it bends real bad. And I was like,
yeah.
boy, you like aren't gonna cut that out or anything?
Yeah.
Maybe reshoot
adds
that.
adds to the mythology, right?
So it definitely had some silly aspects to it. I thought the costume design was maybe not the best, but the special effects though I did kind of enjoy. Like I said, the transformation scene, they had the growing toes and all that stuff, and they did that really well. It's just when he transformed, he just looked like a wrestler.
Teen Wolf. He looked like a Teen Wolf werewolf.
Teen Wolf.
Yeah, he looked-
That's
he-
what, like from the
sort-
Michael J. Fox movie.
But like not like
He looked more like Jason Bateman.
yeah.
In the boxing one, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was like a Teen Wolf that wasn't all the way transformed. And he had his and they decided to put these stupid little like stilt things on, so he had like little dog feet. It didn't make any sense. It was weird.
Yeah. Well, can
but
forgive that, right?
Yeah. Oh, I will.
I mean, at least there was a werewolf in the movie.
Yeah,
that you
it's
got
a
to
weird
see it.
design, but at least it was a werewolf. At least they showed it, and then they kind of went all out for the vampire thing, which was not my typical view of the vampire. But if we're gonna slap some costumes on some people, let's do it. And the final scene with the fight between the werewolf and the vampire, I thought maybe could have been a little bit better, but like maybe draw that out a little bit more, because you could make that really cool.
There was no budget for that. You know,
Yeah.
they spent it
Yeah,
all on
apparently.
building
but
that church.
but it wasn't terrible.
Jesus Christ.
This one at least kept my attention, and it was actually a really interesting story once they finally got into it. It just takes
Sure.
half the movie to get there.
You guys want some trivia?
Oh yeah,
Yes,
let's have some, man.
please.
Let's have it.
What kind of bus was used in this one, right?
Howling VI, The Freaks marks the first time a Howling movie has been shot in the United States since the original one.
Okay.
Ooh.
Wow.
I think
Well,
that's
Georgia.
Bus.
They didn't go to Budapest.
Yeah, this seems like a more Americanized movie.
The first
freak
one
shows-
filmed in
what's more
America.
American than freak shows?
But also the first one that's the main character is a British guy
Yes.
Yes.
that isn't really British. So for some
Exactly.
reason they made him British, even though he could have just been like a guy.
So is he really not British?
Oh, I don't know. It just felt to me like his.
Didn't
I didn't
feel
look him
like
up,
it,
but
did
like
it?
it felt like his accent was.
Yeah, it
Faltering
was
here
sort
and
of.
there.
It was slipping, wasn't it?
Sometimes it was there, sometimes because I found myself thinking that too. I was like, wait, does this guy have an accent?
But then maybe it's just me being like, oh, you don't sound British enough, bro. Like, what the fuck? Like, they don't
Rob,
all
hey,
sound
Rob.
super thick, you know?
He is
He's
from,
not talking about tea and crumpets, is he?
It's not saying where
He's from New
Not
York.
saying.
All right. Scores, Steve. What do you think?
Ooh, we're gonna give part 6 of this series 7 on 10. I'm
Wow.
gonna swing up
Okay.
to a 7 simply because I actually, I don't think that it was like we talked about, the execution wasn't there, but I think that that's strictly budget
Sure.
reasons, and you can only do so much. I see what they were aiming for, and I like what I was getting. So
Yeah, had a lot going on in this movie.
it had a lot going on.
No
And
doubt. Yeah,
the
no
vampire
doubt.
was. I don't know if I liked the vampire design either, Phil, but the fact that there was a vampire, I was like, what the
Right.
fuck? Like,
Yeah.
this is
No,
great.
No, I didn't hate
you know,
it.
yeah, it was like
I
it was just like a
appreciated
really
that they
fun,
went for it.
yeah, surprise. So yeah, 7 on 10 for me.
Lance, what do you think?
5.5. I liked it more than I didn't like it. It's not
Okay.
great, but hey, it was fun. It was fun.
Brian?
I'm gonna agree with Steve. This is a 7 only because I watched it directly after I watched 5.
Oh
Same.
boy.
I'm judging this based on that night's experience. Like, hated. Then I was having fun.
Yeah.
Like, God.
Sounds like you guys experienced the moment that the stock market when he said 90-day pause on tariffs to timestamp this episode.
Oh man, because we didn't know he knew that was coming. But
All right.
moving on.
I'm gonna go 6 on this one. I had a pretty
Okay.
good time with it. I think it was solid, especially compared to the last one. I still think that I like The Beast Must Die more, even though like there was no real werewolf and the special effects were terrible. Like sometimes it was like daylight in one scene on one character, but nighttime on another scene on another
No.
character, but they're in the same scene, right? And it keeps
But at
splitting
least
back
it
and
was
forth
fun.
between one and the other, and they're like talking or whatever, and it's like night, day, night, day. I was like, did nobody like notice this?
Hey,
The golden age of film.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I give it a 6. I think this one, I had a pretty decent time with this one, man. I would
Everybody
watch
enjoyed
this
it.
again. I am not
Me
in
too.
any mood to watch the other movie.
yeah, that's a fair assessment. That's a fair assessment. Steve, what are you guys doing at the Geekz lately, man?
Oh, what did we do last week? We did a big CinemaCon breakdown last week, talking about all the trailers, and that's when Brian saw when I got to try to defend Superman by myself against an onslaught of hate.
I don't get it.
Dude,
thought
I think it's
everybody
gonna
would-
be good.
I know, I'm
It's
It's
excited
James
for it.
Gunn,
Yeah.
man.
But I'm also like really excited for Fantastic Four. Also, like Even and Sean's even like, I don't know,
I am
and I'm
too.
like, bro, I can't fucking look
Find
at
me a
that shit.
good
Looks great.
I
we've
have
been
a feeling
burned- we've been
Fantastic
burned
Four is
a
gonna
lot on
suck
Fantastic.
ass.
Really, I think the
No,
retro
don't say that.
futurism. I think that whole aesthetic that they're going for is the only way you can do Fantastic Four properly. Fantastic Four can't exist in our world. It's too silly, but it can in an alternate
It's too
1960s retro futurism silly ass world,
That's
and it'll
true.
make sense there.
Alright.
And then when they bleed over into here, they're gonna be like, everyone's gonna be like, you're fucking silly, and they're gonna make some changes, you know. So I can't wait for that movie. I think it's gonna be awesome. So
I hope it
All
will.
right.
I don't expect it to.
I
and
kinda
then
do. I kind
we're-
of do.
we're starting our 31 days, starting recording some stuff for that. We always start really early on that. So that's about it. Oh, we just did a movie called Promare for a Patreon review, an anime movie from one of our listeners. People are getting us to watch some weird stuff. It wasn't my favorite anime, but it was pretty good.
Hey, at least you guys will do all of your 31, unlike Brian and I that
That was my
halfway
fault.
through the 31 days. I don't know, man. Cried uncle or something, but we saw
No,
the
it
movies,
was
Brian. We
Hell
just
of a
didn't-
Yeah, it
commitment
was-
to something you're not getting paid for.
It was my fault. October was a rough month for me, so I didn't have
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's why we start in like March and April, because
that
we
makes sense.
we-
That
we-
makes sense.
because we need to have like, we like to do some in October because it's the season, it's the time, but like we need to have like 20-25 done by October, because we can't be, we've done it before where we're recording 5 movie reviews in a week, and it's like that, we can't do that shit. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
we've
That's a lot.
learned we've learned in the last 10 years to space it out quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, hopefully whoever's making the Fantastic Four has learned from mistakes of Fantastic Four's past, right?
Oh, they won't.
Well, I mean, it's not Fox doing it. Fox, Fox is
Thank
the one
God,
that
right?
butchered those movies.
True.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, like those first 2 Fantastic Four movies weren't great, but they weren't the worst. That was a really good Doctor Doom design, and Johnny Storm was awesome in those
Yeah.
movies.
Very
And
true.
Chickless, I mean, he did what he could.
Yeah.
Michael, Yoan Gruffield's Mr. Fantastic was terrible. He reached under a door to get toilet paper. That was one of his moves. Like, that's not good. But Chris Evans' Johnny Storm was hilarious. Like, he got every chick in that whole fucking movies universe. Like, they all wanted it.
As happens.
Well,
He crash landed on a ski slope on fire and turned a big
That's
pile of
right.
snow into a hot tub, and chicks were dropping their fucking snowsuits to get in there with him. Like, that
Oh,
movie's tight.
Johnny
I know,
fucks.
Johnny Storm don't fuck around, dude. That's why I knew he said all that shit
I
in
think
Deadpool and Wolverine.
I think the problem that they have is Fantastic Four is just a little bit silly.
Well,
Just
Make it fun
by the
silly,
nature of
yeah.
it. I mean, you have a rubber man.
Rubber Man
know.
and an Invisible Woman.
Yeah.
I know.
How do you find her?
It's-
How do you find her G spot?
It's gonna be tricky. It's gonna be tricky. They almost did it. They
That's
almost did
my
it with that last
eyeball,
one.
you motherfucker.
That last Fantastic Four movie that came out, who did that one? That with that Doctor Doom ruined that
Trank.
movie. Josh Trank. He did that really good movie with Dane DeHaan before that. Was it where he was a superhero, the found footage one?
Oh, that was a good movie. Yeah.
That was
Mhm.
good.
Then he
Can't
got
remember the name of
Fantastic
it, but
Four,
That was good.
and guess what happened? He went on record too. Like he is not the best director, or doesn't have the best stories about him either. But Fox butchered that movie
Yep.
after he was done with it.
Yep.
Reshot a bunch of shit. There's scenes where you could see where Kate Mara has a wig, because it was years after the movie
Yeah.
was done, and they brought her back to do extra shit. It's like, that's not real hair.
Well,
Well,
I don't know why you think that's gonna be any different for any of the other movies. The studio keeps sticking their fucking grubby hands in shit.
Because it's Marvel,
Right.
and
Yeah.
Marvel's on an upswing right now.
Are
Deadpool,
they?
Wolverine was really good.
and Daredevil.
Daredevil's really good.
Yeah.
So,
I've
and then what was
heard,
the?
I've heard
what
a
was
lot of good things about Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts
Really?
looks awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of
I
test
think it's
screenings
gonna be
said
good.
it's really good.
Yeah, I'm excited
right,
for the
well,
state of geek culture stuff.
Maybe they're
I mean,
finally
this
pulling
looks-
their heads out. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
Stuff-
We'll
the
see.
Stuff looks fun.
All right. Well, as always, we want to thank you guys for listening to another episode of The Horror Returns. You can find us at thehorrorreturns.com or email us at thehorrorreturns@gmail.com. And next week,
no more Twitter. We were suspended.
I saw
for-
that. What
for-
the fuck was that all about?
We're suspended on Twitter.
Twitter apparently
Twitter,
doesn't
X,
tell you
whatever.
what rules you broke. They just tell you broke rules and you can't use it and you can't make another one.
Did you-
So
How
did
do we
you call
break rules on X?
Did
What
you
the
say
fuck?
something about Elon, Brian? Did you say something about Elon? Come on.
I'll say something about Elon on here. I don't care, but I only post shit for the show
All right.
and on a social media platform that allows porn. I don't understand what rules I broke.
Not enough porn.
We posted somebody's link and they didn't like it. That's probably what happened.
That must be it. Yeah, that must be it. Oh well. All right.
And don't
well,
make your
next week-
post shareable if you don't want it shared. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Like, I don't know.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Next week we're going back to the theater, guys, for Drop. That's what AJ's excited to watch with me. She likes the dude that plays the date. He was Spencer Dutton in the 1923 series, the Yellowstone. Have y'all seen that?
No, I haven't seen that one.
I'm loving
That's her-
Yellowstone.
that's her
haven't
new
seen
man crush.
I haven't seen any of the other ones though.
Yeah, they're all good, man. They're all
Yeah.
good. Kind of over the top.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool.
Right.
And what else are we gonna watch, Brian? Cellular 2044.
Oh,
Who wrote
I haven't
these
seen that
notes?
one in a minute.
Oh, must be 2004, right? Cellular.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
we're 2044 yet.
Isn't that the one with fucking Johnny
seven.
Storm?
Yeah.
Is it?
All right.
No shit. Everything
Let's do
comes
it.
full circle.
Have you seen Cellular before?
Yeah.
I've seen it. Yeah.
I
Ooh,
think so.
awesome.
But it's been a
Yeah,
while.
it's not bad.
Oh,
It,
nice.
it doesn't hold up now because like current technology, you're like, what the fuck? but like at the time, that shit made a lot of sense.
It's a flip phone or a big
Jason
phone. that's big
Statham's
or
not
something.
just a guy with a regular job in it.
No,
He's a
he's
Oh,
villain.
Jason
Oh, he's in
Statham
it
that
too.
movie. I forgot about
I'm
that.
excited. I'm excited.
Tim Basinger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, on that note, until the horror returns again, Philip.
Good night.